Happy New Year, everyone. I look forward to a great year in 2013. I'd like to begin by thanking Scott Himmelstein for the last 2 years, the work that he's done as president, and all the work that he's begun that we're going to try and follow up with. I also would like to give some thanks to Linda Michalowski, Chancellor Michalowski, Jonathan Lightman, are you here, and Sylvia Flores, and Keitha from the foundation on a really successful Veterans Summit. We'll be having a report on that tomorrow, possibly today, but it was one of those efforts that was a very good one, and look forward to continuing that kind of activity this year and into the future in our efforts to provide greater access and support for our returning veterans. And I also like to thank Chancellor Harris for making such a easy transition from our prior Chancellor, Jack Scott, who did a fantastic job in his role as Chancellor, and Bryce Harris just kind of following right in that mold, and look forward to working with him this year. I do want to mention some notable challenges or things that we're facing with this year, just briefly. But we will be having a board retreat, hopefully in March, and that's something we can discuss in terms of laying out the agenda for the coming months in our work as a board. So we'll be talking about that a little bit, but certainly some things that we're facing is the continuing implementation. These are not only challenges but opportunities in the implementation of 1440. We've had some very good success with our efforts there, and of course 1456, which will address some of the areas of student success. I think the implementation of that, and I know that we'll be talking about that. Chancellor Harris and staff are working diligently with various constituent groups to make that happen. And of course we are continuing to face some accreditation issues with some of our colleges. And just generally, I think that the relationship between or with the Accreditation Commission has been one that is working towards a positive end. So Chancellor will be meeting soon. I think we'll make some comments about that with the leadership of the Accreditation Commission. And of course the work that we've been doing over the last couple of years with veterans, hopefully we can continue to work on that to ensure that we provide the best services that we can, and support that legislation which creates a greater opportunity for veterans to engage in community college education. One bill in particular addressing residency is an important one to take a look at and support. Of course, the foundation's work is something that we will continue to work with, and with Keitha Mills' leadership, work towards having greater support for the system through the work of the foundation. And a work, of course, a very important area, as we all know, in these times especially, is workforce development, and the kind of work that the Chancellor and others have been doing in this area will continue to be one that is of great importance. And we've been hearing a lot about adult education lately. I think that's an issue that stands first and foremost in the minds of some people, because as we have gone through this financial crisis over the last 4 or 5 years in the state nationwide, but in the state we see a deterioration of opportunities for adult learners. And the question is a significant policy question, and that is, what is it that we will do with adult learners? If the K-12 system is not providing sufficient support there, and our resources are limited within the community colleges, what is it then that we do? So we'll have to work closely not only with with K-12, but also with the legislature and the governor in trying to assure that we have a better understanding of what we do with adult learners. And of course, are continuing to improve legislative relationships and ensure that the funding for our efforts throughout the system are adequate for the kinds of challenges that we do, and in particular to enhance that funding so that we can fully implement 1456 and some of those student success objectives that we'd like to address. And certainly the governor has been speaking about online education. I think we have to pay attention to exactly what that means for the system, the kind of support that we can provide out of the Chancellor's office for that. And with that, I will turn it over to the Chancellor, and thank you again for making life easy for us.